If you've ever been told that one or more of your chakras are blocked, and you're thinking, what does that mean? We're going to demystify it in today's video. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Christine from Kyanite Psychic Services, and I love to help sensitive and creative souls build confidence and trust in their connection with spirit. You can find out more about me and my offerings at kyanitepsychic.com. So this is the fourth video that I've created that talks about the chakras. And if you haven't checked out the other videos in this series, I invite you to do so. I'll put a link in the description bar and also up above. In the first video, which is really a start here, I gave a definition of chakras, and I just want to say it again. They're energy centers that store, receive, and transmit life force energies. So we have many chakras, but really in these videos, we're focusing on the 7 main chakras in the body that often are depicted in images like this one. So when it comes to these body chakras, they are constantly spinning. They're in motion. They're dynamic. The energy and information in them is always shifting and changing in some way. And they do, when they spin, generate electromagnetic energy as well. This forms the layers of our aura, for example, which I've talked about in other videos, which I'll link below. So chakras also are opening and closing, and that is in response to energy in our field and our environment and whatever we're doing at any given moment. And I'm resharing this just to emphasize that we are always in a state of flux. The energy in our field, in the chakras, in our aura, in all parts of us, in our physical body is always shifting and changing. So if you hear or if you notice personally that there's a blockage in one or more of your chakras, I want you to know that you have the power to heal it, to shift and change your energy. We all have this ability. Sometimes it takes longer than other times, but we all can do this. And we are not ever stagnant or stuck permanently. There's no such thing. Change is the only constant, as they like to say, whoever they is. Um, okay, when we're talking about a blockage, from my perspective, technically, it can mean one of two things. One, that there's some kind of energy and information that is blocking the flow of communication from one or more chakras to the other ones, right? And to your conscious awareness. Maybe a good way to think of it is to look at the parallel in the physical body. Like if there's some kind of obstruction or blockage, like a blood clot, right? There's some kind of substance buildup, right, in the arteries that prevents the flow of blood, life force, energy to from the heart to the rest of the body, right, to the organs and everything. So blockages in the chakra system are much like that. There's some kind of information, whether it's foreign energy that came from someone else, from family, from another lifetime, from society, right, that's stuck in one of your chakras and it's obstructing the flow of life force energy from that chakra to the others. And this could happen in any of the energy centers of the body, right? And this might manifest literally in your experience in many different ways. There's no defined textbook, but I'll give you a few examples in just a moment. Another way that you might experience a blockage is if one or more of the chakras in the body becomes enlarged or inflamed, and that obstructs the flow or even your awareness of the other chakras in your body. So it's kind of like the parallel of inflammation in the physical body. Think of like inflammation in the gut, for example, where that might obstruct, your detox pathways. It might be really hard for you to process nutrients or things like that if there's inflammation, right? There's many ways to look at it, but that's the energetic parallel to give you some context. So again, from my perspective, it's either there's some kind of energy that's blocking the flow or one of the chakras is enlarged, or more of them are enlarged, and it's difficult to get a sense of, or for there to be flow between it to the rest, right? So here are some examples. to hopefully make this a bit clearer. On a fundamental level, say you're having a really hard time connecting with people authentically, like having a heart to heart, sharing what is on your heart with others. There's probably some information in your heart chakra that's blocking the flow of communication from it to the throat, to your sixth, to your awareness, and to the rest of the body, right? If you've ever had a hard time communicating something, there's probably some energy in your throat chakra that's blocking the flow of energy and information there. Also, if you're having a hard time being grounded, being present, hearing people when they're talking to you, noticing what's around you in the present moment, there's probably some sort of blockage going on in your first chakra. Often, when that happens, we have a hard time being present with ourselves and being in our bodies fully. And again, all of this can be shifted and released. When it comes to different energy centers or chakras being enlarged, one of the ones that I notice commonly in the reading and healing space, especially because I'm working with people who are learning how to read energy a lot, is that the upper chakras can become like very enlarged or inflamed, and it's challenging to get a sense of those lower body chakras. So to give a little more explanation here, often when we're perceiving energy, reading energy, using our psychic senses, we're using those upper three chakras, the throat, third eye, and crown, that regulate things like clairvoyance and clairaudience. And sometimes we're really up there. The focus is there. And we can forget that we have a root chakra, which is where our body information and survival information is stored. So that's something that can happen is we can become out of balance. All the focus is on those upper chakras and not so much on like what the physical body needs, on staying grounded, noticing what's around us on the earth plane, right? And this can absolutely be shifted, but that's a blockage, right? Another one that I've noticed is third chakra, our solar plexus, that being the center of boundaries, ego, personal power, what we do, how we show up in the world. Sometimes if that becomes enlarged or inflamed, someone can have an ego that's like really been unchecked, or little consideration for other people, doing what they want when they want it, because the flow of what they want, their desires, all of that from the lower chakras is getting stuck up in the third and not going up to the heart, which is a center of compassion and relationships and care for others. So this is not end all be all. Everyone's body looks like this, but for example, people that might have like sociopathic tendencies, if you were to look energetically, often you probably will notice that their third chakra is a lot bigger in comparison to, say, the heart or other energy centers of the body. And again, this can be shifted and changed over time. So I hope that helps give some context. Again, I'm going to say it a million times because it's so true. We all have the power to shift and change our energy. One of my go-to practices for healing and releasing blockages when it comes to the chakras is running earth and cosmic energy. This is a pretty widely shared practice, and I've recorded a meditation that walks you through it. It's on my channel. I'll link it up here and also down below. But this brings neutral spiritual energy into your body. And when it blends within you naturally and goes up these front channels of your body, you can think of it kind of like racing stripes that run up the front of your body. As it travels up, it naturally helps to balance your chakra. So if one is particularly enlarged, it helps over time bring it into equilibrium. And also, if you have stuck energy, think of it kind of like running Drano through a clogged pipe. It'll help to release stagnant or foreign energy from those centers of your body. Sometimes the experience is immediate. Other times it takes a while of being consistent with this practice for you to notice a difference in your experience and in your awareness in your life. But that's a great starting point that I would recommend to anyone to do. And it doesn't matter if you can like clairvoyantly see your chakras. setting your intention in a meditation like that is really all you need to get started to heal yourself powerfully. And then over time, something that I do share in my 6 month training, Intuitive Freedom, is a way that you can notice the communication between your chakras. I call it having them say hello to each other. And you're noticing how the flow of energy is between, say, like the first to the second, the first up to the third, the first to your heart, and so on. So it's kind of a fun practice that you can play with. But over time, with intention and I'd say dedication, devotion to yourself, you can absolutely become more chakra aware. You can notice yourself more deeply and what is going on within you. So I hope that this video has been helpful to you just to gain a little context to what people might be talking about when they say that a chakra is blocked. And if you'd like to go deeper into techniques to help you read the chakras, whether it's for yourself or to look at other people's chakras, I do invite you to check out my 6 month training, Intuitive Freedom. I'll put the information for that in the description below. So thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to share with you today. Be blessed, and I look forward to catching you in the next video.